All right, welcome back to another episode of Knicks Morning Coffee Recap. All right, so we're gonna jump into this just for a few minutes because to me it ain't much to talk about. But like, comment, subscribe anyway. We don't even know where to start with this one because it's not heartbreaking that we lost this game, in a sense, got blown out in the second half by the Celtics. But the point that no Tatum, if I'm not mistaken, no Porzingis in the second half, right? So where does Boston supposed to get their points from? Now, we know that they're still a capable opponent, but the only bad taste that was in my mouth was that sometimes with all the stuff going on with the Knicks and arriving in big games and showing up, this would have probably been that, to show the world that we stepping on y'all's neck, okay, and this is what it's going to be. But we didn't do that. I know conspiracies will say the NBA wants to prolong it, but they didn't prolong it for Indiana. They didn't prolong it for Minnesota. So where did that leave us? Okay, everybody probably in Knick land, probably in their heart, they wanted to end it last night, but they also probably wanted the dramatics of Game 6 in the Garden to close it out, just for the home fans and for the city. But now the way we played this second half, this kind of leaves me in a little bit of almost like a funk, because now it's must-see TV, but at the same time, we got to show up. We got to show up and we got to show out, because now we can't take nothing for granted. Now we know a Game 7 is not promised. Now, it originally started with Boston, with us having rather 3 games to win 1. That sounds easy enough. Okay, Boston can't beat us 3 straight games, especially without Tatum, especially without an ailing Kristaps Porzingis. But now we see that they are very capable. And then when you get a guy like White going off the way he did, we knew there was going to be extra shots for Boston. I actually probably thought Pritchard probably was going to be the one to get him. But White went off. And now we have to contend with the fact that they have nothing to lose. So they're definitely going to be jacking up shots. And if they're on, then that could be a long night for us. So come tomorrow night, every single Knick on this team got to look inside themselves and say, now this is not just for me. It used to be we don't pay attention to the outside noise. It's about the guys in the locker room. No, now it's about everybody, because y'all spoiled us. Y'all gave us this, and now you can't snatch it away from us. So we have to go in Game 6 and with all of our might and all of our coaching and pull out this victory, because then there will be no excuse. Now there's no silver lining. If you, in the beginning of the series, if you took Boston 7 and you lost, some people say, okay, they the champs, nothing you could do. But now it's something you could do. You're in full command of this series, but you got to fight for every minute that you're out there on the court. And those 20-point leads, at some point, they come back to bite you in the butt. And then last night, that's what it did. It was just no fight back in this game. We just should have threw in the towel and just get ready and avoid injury. But I would tell you this, Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, y'all better, you better wake up, and then you better hunt these mismatches. Everybody better get their game on point, their 3-point shooting on point. OG didn't really give us much last night on the offensive side. Bridges, I'm not even critiquing what they didn't do. It's just now we have to bring it. All right. We've been riding with y'all all season, and everybody believes in what the Knicks are capable of doing. Now on the Boston side, they did what they were supposed to do. Right. They handled their business. They went back home wounded for game 5, and they show their fans that there's a lot of fight in this team. So okay, nobody can argue with that. It could almost be expected. It's just that, when you take out somebody's star player and then maybe their number 3 player, well, I would really say number 2 for Kristaps for me. Most teams, that's it. They're going to pretty much fold. But they didn't. They just kept coming. And at the end result, they had us right where they wanted us. But again, all is not lost. We're going back home to Madison Square Garden. The fan faithful is going to be there. Every bar and restaurant in New York City is going to be packed. And, we already know it's going to be like at the Garden, outside the Garden. Probably rain or shine, them fans are going to be outside on the plaza. So everything is lined up for us to take this game. I just want to see it happen. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this game like every other fan's supposed to, but I'm also going to be watching it with bated breath because I know when doubt creeps into your mind, what can happen. Now, the beauty of that is a lot of these players have nothing to do with the Knicks' failures in the past. This is like a clean slate for them. But, somebody like a Josh Hart, who was our highest point scorer last night, surprisingly, he might be the key because he's open for a reason. And I noticed, too, last night on those pick and rolls, on a lot of them, Brunson was not going to him wide open. So that means to tell me that there has to be a shooter in that spot that everybody is comfortable with. And we're going to have to figure that part out because they're giving us that. They're giving us that wide open. Now, when you put a shooter there, that spot, now it might not become available. But right now it is available. And to me, Hart, you just have to shoot it. You can't make a drive out of a drive that's not there just to go into traffic and get it blocked. Because for some strange reason, Cornette has his number. Every time we play them, he knocks Hart's balls out of the sky every time he get a chance. And Hart drives right back into him with the same move. And I do not understand that one. Like, you go into everybody else's body first, but you go away from him and he blocks your shot. It's like kid on the playground. So in that shooter spot, which comes up from the dunker spot, you have to take the shot. And I wish they would employ him. Just shoot it. Just get it up off the rim. Because you seen what Mitch was doing last night. Hacker Mitch didn't work for them last night. You know, right? Forget about the rebounds he was getting. He was knocking down his threes at record clip. You know, and he was showboating about it, which he should. Because this is what it is as he rounds into shape. So we have all the pieces that we need to go in here and do what we have to do. You know, kudos to Deuce McBride. But I don't even want to really get into who did or didn't do in last night's game. I just want everybody's focus to be on this game 6 at the Garden, because this is what we need. You know, this is what we waited for. It's like, I can't wait. I wish tomorrow was today. Put it that way. Because, you know, championship now you can smell it. And they're still getting ahead of ourselves because Indiana is not going to be a cakewalk. But just all you need to know that it's a possibility. And if something is a possibility, then you can will it. So let's just fight and get out of this series. Take our deep breath, and then I ain't gonna say let the balls and chips fall where they may, but we're in a nice situation. All right, so I woke up this morning a little bit more energetic, but cautious just keeps creeping in, you know. But like you know, I'm human just like everybody else, and you want the best for your team. And sometimes you just want to be able to walk out and just let the world know how happy you are. But tomorrow night, everybody be ready. Again, this is not a critique show today. This is just a focus show. Let's stay focused. Let's get our heads right and get the party started tomorrow, and then get ready to move on to the next one. Because Game 7, woo, that's a whole nother story. All right, so until next time, peace.